Because the purpose of our meeting tonight is to show you what we've done throughout the year and to kind of encourage more activity within the club for 2008. Now, as I look around, there are quite a few people who have taken some of the trips with us to ARRL headquarters, K1 Triple T, some of the other events that we've held. We've repeated some of the events over again for the last 2 years. And it's really, if we're going to repeat those activities, it's up to you and your interest if you want to continue some of them. We're going to show you what we did last year, a couple things that we proposed this year. And the main thing is I kind of feel like I'm preaching to the choir because when I look around, the same people I see are people who come to all the meetings. We were hoping to try to reach the people that don't show up, but if you know any of those people, or if you see them on the roster, or they come to the holiday party and you happen to sit next to them at the table, try to generate some interest for this year for the club, and just generally an interest in them for the hobby before they lose that interest and we lose them as members.
Very nice graphics.
Better than that other video that we made, yes? Okay, some of these shots are self-explanatory. This is a holiday party from last year. For those of you who did not attend or you're a first-time member, we urge you to come to the holiday party for $5 for the meal that you get. It's well worth it. Last year at the meeting, Alan presented Rob with a plaque for a certificate. We also recognized Ken Newman for his contributions as net controller. Also, we recognized Felix for his efforts on the news views. And we gave the, oh look at that smile. We recognized Steve for his continuous service. Steve has been in the club probably from the onset that it was a club in 1973. He's got to be one of our most senior members of the club. It's been around for all the different incarnations of this club. He's a wealth of information. He does a lot of work, and he was recognized for that on the Christmas party. Another event that the club participates in is Ham Radio University. We usually go to Ham Radio University not because it's that interesting. They happen to have the same speakers over, and I want to be honest about that. We go mostly to promote the club because it's good advertisement for the club to sit at the table, show the QSL book, give applications out, talk to people. We used to recruit people from Ham Radio University to come and speak, but we've gone through all those speakers already. Here's our display board. Here is a visitor, I forgot his name, but we've seen him around. It's another club member that we haven't seen in a while, Rob, manning the booth. We have the banner in the background. Felix was given the Newsletter of the Year award by Frank Fallon at HRU last year. HRU this year is January 9th. We need some other people to come down and volunteers at Briarcliff College, the same place where the Limemark holds his Hamfest. One of the trips that we've taken for 2 years in a row, you've seen most of these slides from last year, is the K1 Triple T. This will be the third year we're going to try this trip again. I don't know how many times afterwards we're going to continue it, if you can slow that down. The first time we went out to the station was in 2006. And in 2006, we took a total of 4 operators and we made 21,000 points. The second year we went out with 8 operators and we made a score of 64,000 points. We also entered the January VHF contest. Now, I just got the certificate in the mail. We actually won the contest, first place, limited multi-operator Western Massachusetts section for the 2007 ARRL January VHF sweepstakes. And as you can see, we made 62 QSOs and we won the award. So that contest goes on at the same time that this trip to the station, K1 Triple T, goes on. We're going to enter into that also again this year while we take the trip. We want to stay the full 12 hours. So if you want to volunteer for this trip and it's something that you think you'd like to operate, a station that's in all the magazines, the station owner is well-renowned, he contributes a lot of articles for magazines, and you're prepared to stay the 12 hours, we'd like you to come up. Last year we had Mark came up, Mitch, Rob, myself, Kayvon, Howie, as you can see some of the other members were at the grounds of this house. This particular house is only dedicated towards contesting in the station. We're going to just show you a bunch of series of antennas. The photos don't do justice when you see the amount of work that's gone into the station, and the station has gone some renovations, and some other antennas have been added. It's really, spectacular looking station, and he kind of gives us free reign to operate the station. There's no real pressure on him. The only pressure is to operate. So you can see all the shot of all the different coax going to his house. You want to see the picture before? Go ahead. Okay, he has 6 towers. That's the VHF and UHF. It was very moderate, modest station for the VHF because that's not really his forte. He uses that for running the packet cluster, and he has his own packet cluster net that goes up. The main focus is every tower is dedicated to one band. I don't know which band that is. That may be the 20-meter tower. He's put up an 80-meter 4-square antenna. It's really something to look at. I know that the people who went up for last year's trip, and you had a great time, Mark, didn't you? It was the first time you've seen a station of that size and magnitude? I guess that says it all, yep. Again, each station is, handsomely appointed. They're all set up the same. He gives you a tour of the station. Here's Mark, here's Howie operating. We were WB2JSM Tom, MA, the state, Jim Shannon, who came with us on both trips. He was doing the VHF and UHF for the majority of the 6-meter contacts and the 440 contacts. Kayvon operated. Kayvon turned out to be a natural contester. I received an email, here's Mitch. Afterwards, I complimented Howie, Rob, and Kayvon on their contesting skills, and he now includes them on, is Joe Resnick, includes them on his email to come up with future contests. So if you're interested in that, see me. It's a long drive. It's 3.5 hours to get up there, and at least 4 hours to come back, because we're coming back at the evening time or early in the morning, so we drive a little bit slower. It's well worth it. Again, I don't know how many times we're going to do this trip. This may be the last. We want to surpass the 64,000 points. We want to operate and put a really serious effort into it and try to win the award for this section of the country in the contesting. When we saw the scores from last year, we could have done it. But we did a little bit of chatting upstairs in his apartment rather than eating. We always do rather than operating. This time we're going to try to reverse that. So if you're interested in it, please be committed for 12 hours, be committed for the long drive, and be committed to when you get up there to actually operate and operate seriously in a contest, see your name in the magazine, see yourself on the website, and really have a chance to operate a really, spectacular station. One of the trips we did last year was to visit the battleship in New Jersey, in Camden, New Jersey. There is a radio club aboard the ship. They were really nice people who went out of their way to wait for us at the dock. You see we had a large group again. You'll notice there's some similar faces from the last trip. Mitch, Jim, Rob, Mark. These people have come on other trips. That's why we want to try to entice them. There was more people at the meeting for those who haven't gone on any trips to take this one with us. Here's a shot of the battleship. Here's one of the original disc cone antennas that were on the ship. We actually used that antenna. They tried to use, they put some other wire antennas up. Those are not original shipboard antennas. They tried to maintain as many of the shipboard antennas as they can, but they did have to add on other antennas.
What bands are on this one?
This one
Here's the 18-inch guns. I mean, it was fascinating not only to operate radio aboard the battleship and take the tour. What we did was split up the 2 groups. We took the guided tour and paid for the ship, while the other half operated these 5-inch guns. Operated the radio station while we toured the ship. This was an easy ride, but it took us 90 minutes. About that time to get down there, and Really fascinating ship. I would recommend it even if you don't go with the radio club. If you're not doing anything on the weekend, take a look. The club that maintains the radio station also is trying to restore all the gear on the ship. This is just some of, you see in the top it says low frequency meal, high frequency receiver, Harris. They go on salvage trips and they try to restore as much of the working equipment as possible and the communications aboard the ship. So that's their way of staying aboard that ship as a club. Just like our mission is to come down here and demonstrate radio, and we can stay here. They have a real focus. That's their station. Is a small shack. It's put off to the side. They kind of tried to keep the radio gear represent different eras, and since they didn't want to offend any of the veterans, they kind of put it off to the side because they felt that some of the people in World War II would have some objections to using Japanese equipment. That's why they told us they're off to the side, and they don't really, you have to come into the, through a porthole to get to the equipment. Small station, 2 stations dedicated to HF, 1 to packet, 1 to VHF and UHF, and then 1 for digital loans. Here's Rob operating the station. He likes that pose. ARRL, the rest. Here's some of the group, Charlie Ridgway, Jack, his son. Here's one of the members of the other club. Now each year, we've held a fishing trip for the last 2 years, which have been organized by Felix. And I want to let Felix talk about the pictures that are coming up. Or Rob, he was also on the trip. So Felix, if you want to.
Okay, thank you, Tom. As Tom mentioned, the last couple of years we've been organizing trips that leave out of Montauk, Long Island, and we charter a what's referred to as a 6-pack. So it's this is a 35-foot down east, really a lobster boat, and it takes only 6 paying passengers. And with the trip comes all bait and tackle, 1 crew member, 1 captain, and hopefully we come back with a lot of fish. I think each time we've gone, we've never gotten skunked, right? I mean, everyone that has brought something back. So that's the back of the boat right there. And you can see some of these happy smiles here. We haven't even begun catching fish yet. Everyone's already happy being out on the water, just being out on the sea. June is a good time for striper fishing, although that's a fluke. It's a fluke that I caught it. That's right. And so what we've been doing in the spring is mixing it up. We'll spend the first half of the charter going for fluke, and then the second half of the charter going for striped bass. And I've been pretty lucky in being able to organize a trip around either the new or the full moon, and coordinating with the tide. So you can see Rob here with this impressive catch. That's a striped bass, very, very tasty striped bass. And that's Art. And Art, you can see Art's rod bit bending, and that's a pretty stiff rod. That's mid to low 30-pound fish. Gave Rob a good fight. And it's fun, as long as you don't get seasick. It's a lot of fun. And we usually fish with live eels, the kinds you see up in Chinatown, put them on a boat. And the last trip we went on, one of the guys actually flew out and took Art along with him. He flew out from Farmingdale, the State University of Farmingdale, the airport. And it took us, 2.5, 3 hours to drive with traffic. It took like 35 minutes and he was there. And the airport's just across the street from the marina. So that was kind of cool. It was down to it's kind of my trip, so I put the money down, and it's not really the club that's taking the risk on the trips. And so I open it up. I go every year anyway, and I try to go twice a year, and I try to open up at least one of them to the club members first. And then what I do is if I don't get enough club members to go, then I start calling up all my fishing buddies to fill up the spot. But I plan to do it again next year, one in the spring, and again in the fall. And in fact, we're kind of hoping to go out sometime around Thanksgiving when the herring run. And we'll catch live herring and fish striped bass with live herring. So that's kind of my kind of fish.
Field Day. This is one of our premier events at the club. I really enjoy Field Day. Unfortunately, this was the first year in 10 years that I didn't sleep out in the park the entire weekend. I usually try to get out for the whole entire weekend, stay awake. My record is 26 hours staying awake. But this year, baton was passed. Rob kind of led the entire Field Day, so I'm going to turn over this section to him and let him narrate some of the pictures from this year.
This is, every year the ARL comes up with a new logo. This year is Bitten by the Bug. Hey, Steve and Ed carrying the most important thing for Field Day, Dunkin' Donuts coffee. You've probably seen a lot of these photos already. It's pretty much the same thing I showed at the barbecue. There's some new ones in here that you didn't see that Jeremy took. Hey,
Hey, what up?
somebody's flashing a light out there. Is that Howie?
Oh, he wants to open the door. Whatever.
Some pictures of the stations and then the operators. We ran 3 Alpha this year, 3 HF stations, plus some other modes. We had 6 meter going. IPPRS, thanks to Steve. Slow scan, right? We had great weather this year compared to last year. We got rained on all the weekend. It was wonderful weather. I can't wait. I already started, I didn't tell Tom yet, but I already started planning next year's Field Day.
Just wait there. Who has never participated in Field Day? Raise your hand. Who's never operated Field Day? 1? 2?
Well, Field Day is a lot of fun. As you know, there's no commercial power. It's all generated solar power. If you want to be on a bicycle generator, it's all artificial power. So the generators do go down at the wrong time. You lose communications, but that's all part of it. And it's a lot of fun. I stayed there the whole night. I did catch a nap during the night because I had my daughter with me. I had both kids with me. You might be in some of the photos. But it was a lot of fun. Come in. This is Matthew. He's one of the newest hands. He was in one of my classes. But who's this guy? It's another stranger.
Now, some clubs, this is the only event they do.
All year round, and they start planning the Field Day immediately the day after, in June 26th. When one Field Day ends, they start planning the other. We kind of do some advanced preparation. We'd like it to grow again each year, get more people down, set up a bigger station, earn more points, and try to get, some of you who have not operated to operate. And those of you who come down, not only to come down and keep us company, but to actually get on the microphone and make some content.
Let's beat our score from last year.
That was easy.
We can only go up because in the section in the ARRL, I just got one of the news bulletins. We're on the bottom of the section. Out of 10, we're number 10. So I don't think we only have room for improvement.
Our actual placement, I scanned through it, our actual placement in Field Day score was 1,502. Let's bring it up closer to number 1.
How many participants were there?
Thousands.
About 25.
we can see some of the pictures, at least for people that didn't come down, had a wide variety of operators.
That's me trying to work satellite contact very hard on field day. They're always jammed with lots of people trying to make contact. We got one this year, I don't even remember.
I don't think so.
I don't think we were able to do it.
I know you had one in there, but I don't know if you actually snagged them that day.
I don't remember.
Come down earlier next year.
That's right.
And that's it for field day. I guess I have the mic again. All right, this event happens every year as well. It's in October. It's a Boy Scout event called Jamboree on the Air. This year, I took the reins on this one, and I hosted it right here in the shack downstairs both days, Saturday and Sunday, for the open hour at the museum, and it was very successful. We had a lot of fun, had quite a number of scouts downstairs, and made a lot of contacts. I have some of the QSL cards already that we've gotten back from these contacts. That's this year's logo for Jamboree on the Air. This was the 50th anniversary of JOTA, so it was kind of special. They extended the operating hours for a total of 50 hours, so it started late on Friday and didn't end until Sunday afternoon. So it was a big event this year. There's one of the club members in the back there, John. He's also a scout leader.
John was actually at Bear Mountain with his troop, and in the morning, we made a few contacts with them over the repeater, and after he packed his scouts up, we drove back, and the next day, they came on Sunday morning to operate the station from inside after he had been outside. The antennas that John had shown us in the presentation, the ones that he had made that were PVC height and the stands, those are the ones that he used on Bear Mountain.
Okay. One of the scouts. This guy sitting here with the headphones on, he came up to me and he said that he would like to work CW for the JOTA because he knows there's a friend out there, I believe he was in Pennsylvania, who needed Queens County on CW for some award he was working on. I'm like, go right ahead. And he banged out, I think, about 6 contacts on CW for us for JOTA. Who's that? This was another guest troop leader. He didn't bring any scouts down with him, but he spent both days with us, and I think he's joining the club. Correct, Steve? Francisco, HCH, KC2HCH. He's out of Manhattan. He's a scouter out of Manhattan. He liked us so much, now he's joining the club. He even made some Spanish QSOs for us for JOTA. I'm Brazil, Portuguese? Cool.
One thing, the majority of contacts were made via Echolink. We had the Echolink up, and that was kind of HF conditions were not the greatest on that day. And with the Echolink, we were able to speak to scouts for Sudan, Indonesia, Greece, Malta, numerous other, all over the world. And we kind of kept that link up Oman, all day via Echolink, and it really helped us out a lot. That's why you see, with the Echolink, you don't have to worry about third-party communication. That's why we were able to get all the scouts that were in the station on the microphone, and we're able to talk to the scouts all over the world. So it was a pretty successful event using Echolink as the primary role.
That worked out great, and Tom jumped in and he acted like channel master and coordinated like a net control, and worked out very well. I also want to mention that Jeremy wrote up a little article about our JOTA with pictures, and he submitted it to the Queens Courier, and they told him it's going to be in next week's paper, so look out for it. And the rest is just some more random images of ham-fast meetings for the rest of the year.
No, I guess we have to look at brief. All we put together in the building meeting, and put it together. Steve, WQIRT, but our guest speaker is John. Go to the events, I was talking about the user scouts on Grand Mountain. He gave a presentation in September. Dr. Reno at one of the VE sessions.
I want to mention here, this session, Tom, Kayvon, and Charlie all earned their general exam that day. And then Charlie went on for extra at a following session. Did Mike Benabib, Michael Benabib.
Manifest, Elmore, Sergio, Dave Garrett, and Mickey, Harvey.
Okay, as you've seen, we've repeated some of the things for those of you who were here for the year in review last year. This year, we want to do a couple of events in the station and outside of the station. One of the first events we'd like to hold is in December 8th and 9th is a 10-meter contest. Now, we know that 10 meters is lousy, this portion of the sunspot cycle. However, our antenna is flat on 10. We have an amp. You probably get some openings to South America, some U.S. That's the predictions for this contest. It's as challenging, but nevertheless, you can come down. We use the N1mm logger. You get a chance to use that logger for a simple contest, which will help you in field day when we use the logging program for a main logging program. So if you want to sign up for that, let me know. Charlie Ridgeway.
Date and the time for that?
It's December 8th and 9th. Just come down during the day, either one, Saturday and Sunday.
Until like what hour? Until what time?
Until the museum closes.
All right.
There'll be people down in the shotgun that day, so just show up. We don't want to put a schedule because, you know, it's hit or miss. But if you come, somebody will definitely be there. But if you want to come for an hour, you want to come for 3 hours, that's the other variety.
Okay.
December 8th and 9th. We'll postpone the contest till you get better. I'll write to the contest manager. I'll cancel it for the whole world. We also want to participate in the Amateur Radio Lighthouse Association, the Christmas lights. Charlie Ridgeway has been working on activating the Siemens Church in Manhattan, which counts as a historical lighthouse, even though it isn't a lighthouse and it's never been activated. The majority of lighthouses in the area that you can actually get to have all been activated, some 35 times, some more than once. So we want to try to get something that's unique, that's never been activated, and you can be on the opposite end of the pile-ups where people are actually looking for you. Even though you're in Manhattan, they're searching for you. It's an Amateur Radio Lighthouse Association. It's a group of amateurs who assign numbers to lighthouses, light ships, light stations, and they collect them and they have awards for as many of them as they want. So I don't know what the designation of that particular lighthouse is, but he's working on that. So the date between that will be somewhere between the 27th to the 31st. We don't know which day. It's the day that he gets permission from the December. January, we have the K1TTT again. We explained that one. That is January 19th. We will be leaving approximately 7:30 in the morning. We will not be coming back till 4 o'clock in the morning or so. So it's an all-day event. If you're looking for that, let me know. Send me an email. Talk to me at the break. Tell me if you can drive, if you want to be a participant. We need at least 4 individuals for that trip, minimum. We have 2 of them. I'm going to be on that trip. I don't know, and Rob will be on there, so we have room for other people. Okay, February. We want to try to enter, I'm sorry I don't have the date, the CQ Worldwide Ready Contest. Now, as Alan has given his talks in the past about how easy it is to make contacts and how many people you can work in RIDI even with the sunspot cycles, we want to try that. The only person that's really been doing any RIDI for the station is Charlie, so we're going to try to get him down. If Alan, if you're, I don't know what weekend that is, if you're available, to twofold, enter into the contest, plus learn how to make RIDI contacts at the same time, and you'll know that there's somebody on the air at that time. In March, we have a special event that should be listed on the ARRL website. It will be in the magazine. It is commemorating HoSARC's 35th anniversary. The club was incorporated in 1973. What? Oh, we say this off the record. We just booked the whole 35th anniversary. It passed. So take it as it's 35th anniversary. Don't worry, Steve. It was being formulated. It was officially in 1973. We're sticking with that story. So that's going to be Saturday and Sunday. Okay. We will be down at the station in Saturday and Sunday running a special event station. We're going to try to make them a nice certificate. We'd like to see people come down. If you can only do an hour, you can do 2 hours. But to come down, demonstrate, radio, make contacts, and we'll celebrate our 35 years in existence. And Rob has just put it up on the internet, and it is listed on the ARRL website under Operating Activities Special Event Station, or for future events in March, and it should be there. April, weather and permitting, we're going to try another portable operation with the Scouts to Bear Mountain. We're going to try the Summits on the Air program. It's another portable activity where you have to walk a certain distance and carry the equipment to be considered a summit wherever you park. So we're going to try that sometime in the month of April. I don't have a date yet because I have to contact the park to see what the regulations are on it. We're also going to be determined upon the weather. June, of course, we have our field dates, the last full weekend in June. And we'll post that on the website. If any other trips need to be scheduled, you guys, it's up to you what you want to do. I've been to the ARRL headquarters now 3 different times. I don't think I'll be on that trip again. We did have a big trip during the week. It was led by Alan and myself and a few other people. It's enjoyable. It's up to you guys now to start. The club has been around for 35 years. It's operated because people in the past have organized trips and activities. Hopefully we'll continue for another 35 years when the people in the audience step up and start to plan their events and take it for the next 35 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tom. That's quite a way.